Hello and welcome to the next step of the Clavichord journey. I've asked Chris to just talk through what he's been doing so far and what he's found so far because it's really, really interesting. So, Chris, could you tell us what you've done so far?
Well, I've had a good look at it, I have to say, and the more I look at it, the less impressed I've been, really. This lid came separately when we bought it, and once I screwed it back on the hinges, you can see that nothing seems to really fit, and all the woods are different. So the first impression I got when I really started looking at it was that this is a bodge job. To begin with, I was worrying that this might be a historical instrument, and if I messed around with it, then I really shouldn't be doing that because I'm not an expert. But the more I looked at it, and the more I really realised that it was coming to pieces, and even when I tried slotting the pieces together, they didn't fit, the more I realised that actually there's no real harm in me having a go at this.
Good.
So the construction of it is not very, shall we say, joinerly.
Let me just move in on that bit.
This joint is what's called a mitre joint, and on all four corners it's this mitre joint, which is an extremely weak joint, and as you can see, it's all pulled out. And then every time you come to a mitre joint, of course, it's just coming to pieces. This piece here is cobbled together out of three separate pieces. So goodness knows what chance this had, because what was happening is that it's become warped with the tension of the strings pulling that corner up. And of course, it becomes much easier for the corner to come up when you've got three pieces rather than one solid piece. On the inside, this is very old because it seems to have totally deteriorated sponge pads on it, none of which actually should be in a clavichord. That's right in that it should have a pad there for the keys to fall back onto. And some of these pieces are better than others. This is the balance rail here for the keys to balance on as they hit the strings. That looks original. That looks original. Not so sure about that. The finish is almost like melamine, but I think it's simply highly polished. So
How about the keys? Because
the keys,
you've taken the keys out, haven't you? Let's have a
yeah,
look at the keys.
I took the keys out carefully, and I think this is really what we paid the money for, because making of keys is very difficult and time consuming. These are all what looks like very good original keys. You see that there's veneering all the way along the keyboard, and to begin with I thought that was again another bodge job, but looking at other original clavichords I see that that is a particular feature of them. You can see the scribe lines establishing exactly where everything should meet. The way they work is for the key to sit on the balance pin. Oops, there we are. And when you play it, it pivots on that pin, and this little what's it called?
Tangent.
Tangent, thank you. That's called a tangent. It's made out of brass. When you press the key down, it comes up. And the strange thing about the tuning of a clavichord is that this part of the string, as it's behind where the tangent's going to hit, is padded with something to stop it vibrating, because what happens is you come up to make the sound, and then the instrument takes the distance from there back to the what's called a rest pin, W-R-E-S-T, the rest pin, which is one of these. So your string is sounding along that length, not that length like in a piano. So it's quite interesting, so that all of this stringing here, which is behind the tangents, has to be padded so that you form the lengths of the note individually as each tangent hits it.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. That's a lot of information to take in for now. We'll be joining you again.